Fala pessoal, tudo bem? Episódio 9, I had no idea. E hoje eu tô aqui com o Chris, vai bater um papo comigo. Chris, thanks for being here.
No worries, happy to be here.
I'm really excited to do this interview with you right now because it will be a new thing for me as well in English, And yeah, thanks again.
No worries.
Guys, Chris is my friend and he also worked with me. So I just told him, hey Chris, can you help me with my new project? I'm doing a few interviews, and he's also immigrant, right?
I
You
am.
feel that, right?
Yeah,
Because you're from Canada, right?
I am from Canada, yeah. So, heck, how long have we been here now? 19 years.
19 years.
Yes, so well situated now.
And why did you move to Australia, Chris?
Oh, look, it's a typical kind of story. My wife was coming here for university, and I didn't want to lose her,
Yeah.
She was the one.
Good
So
keeper. Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, you got to keep her. So I applied for a working holiday visa.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was a 2-year. Oh, sorry, no, it was a 1 year at the time. Anyway, I'm not sure what it is now, but I applied for it and got it. Came here, and
But you came with her, right? She was studying at that time.
She was studying at the time. Yeah. So I came.
So she was on a studying visa, and you were working holiday.
Well, no. So she got in on a permanent resident.
Okay.
Because her father.
Straight away.
Yeah, straight away, because her father had citizenship because he was working here for 5 or 6 years in the oil and gas industry. So it ended up being, I guess, serendipitous. It just made it so much easier. Yeah, getting in was it was easy mode.
Yeah.
I think most people have to go with like hard mode.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
luckily, Canada is part of the Commonwealth. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
make it easier for you guys.
it makes
yeah.
it much easier for people like me to come in, because I guess we share the same queen.
Yeah.
Well, we did share the same queen anyway. Yeah. now it's the same king.
The same king, yeah.
Yes.
So you came with her, and then did you feel like any difficult to talk in English here? I mean, of course, English is the first language, but Australia English.
Australian English relies a lot on slang.
Yeah.
So that as far as communication was concerned, in general, I was about like 80% fine.
80% fine, yeah.
80% fine. But once you start getting used to the way that they say, like afternoon is arvo.
Yeah. What is
you want to have some brekkie. You're like, oh, what? I can assume, I know what that is. But little things like tea. Like somebody asked me, oh yeah, we should have tea sometime. I'm like, I don't drink tea. No, they didn't mean that. They meant let's go have a meal. Let's go have lunch.
Eat something, yeah.
Yeah, let's go eat something. I just didn't know.
Tea.
I was like, have tea. I hate tea. So it's little things like that have made a bit of a difference.
But now you're fine, right? After like 18 years.
After 18 years, I get almost everything that they say.
You sound like an Australian.
I sound like an Australian when I'm talking about it.
Yeah. You're actually teaching me a lot of stuff, Jacob.
Whoa. Hey, it's a term of endearment. You don't just throw that around, okay? Cool. I do tend to teach you the wrong things, though. Yeah. Hopefully in the right way.
Yeah. And how was it for you, like, to grow up in Canada?
Cold.
Good question.
No, Canada is a really nice country. My hometown is Calgary, so on the west side is all mountain ranges, so the Rocky Mountains, and then the east side's all prairies. So you kind of get a little bit of everything. So you look right, and it's flat forever, and then you look the other way, and there's a big mountain range. So
yeah,
so a lot of options.
Nice. And now for you here, it's not cold at all, eh?
Look, winters are wet. It hits 0 degrees and it's humid. It's cold. It feels cold, and the houses aren't exactly insulated the same way.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't have central heating. So back home, you've got a furnace in your basement that keeps the house nice and toasty throughout winter.
Yeah. So you don't feel anything like when you're inside of the house.
Yeah.
You don't feel cold.
Back home, you're totally fine. Over here, some of our rentals only had the little split system, and that's sufficient for a room.
Yeah.
But no, it's nowhere near the same. Like you know, we have minus 30s, minus 40s back home, which
You're-
you stop feeling, which might be a problem, but you stop feeling after a while. So
Oh,
Yeah.
you get used to that, eh?
you
But-
you get used to the cold for sure.
Yeah. I like the way that you were teaching me, like, oh, when I say to you, oh, it's freezing today, and you said it's not freezing, it's just cold.
It's just cold, yeah.
And then I learned how to, like, okay, where I can use freezing. Not in Australia.
You can use it. It's totally fine. But it's all perspective, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's hot today. What is it? Oh, 30 degrees. That's not hot.
Yeah, yeah.
They say. But for me, 30 degrees is, well, you've
it's
seen
hot.
me at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the wettest one there. Yeah, mostly.
Chris, and when you came here, what was the first thing that you did? Did you work or something? Like,
Oh, in that sense. Yeah. So,
yeah.
okay, so we'll call it a rental, but it was actually, we were staying at the student's house in Murdoch University there,
Okay.
and I was hiding on the floor for the first few weeks because I wasn't meant to live there, I suppose. But it was that temporary kind of period where she was in the dorms,
Yeah.
and I'm hiding in a room.
Oh, you're not
Sneaking.
supposed to be
I
there.
wasn't supposed to be
Okay.
there. Yeah.
So don't tell them. Don't tell them.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
You know, I didn't break a law, but still, you know. So for a few weeks until we could get a proper rental,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I was living. And I was working at McDonald's.
McDonald's. Oh,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, here.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Because you did that in Canada as well, right?
I look, we met at McDonald's.
Yeah, you met your wife at McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So we met up at Macca's. I'd worked about 4 years there,
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, I'm sick of this. So I got like his forearm tattoo. I was like, yeah, they'll never hire me at Macca's again. It's gone now. And then I come here in Macca's. So
You are a perfect match.
damn it. We'll do it, I guess.
And what was your rate there?
My rate,
Your rate, yeah, the payment.
my starting rate in Canada at that time was $6.25 an hour.
625,
Hmm.
like 18 years ago, right?
Yeah. So it's finally increased. But like for instance, when my wife actually started there, her starting rate, and she started after me, her starting rate was $6 an hour.
$6 an hour.
And that was just because the minimum wage had gone down. So that was what they did.
You know what's the minimum wage right now? Canada.
$16, $17,
16,
something
around
like that.
16, yeah.
Yeah,
17.
so it has changed, definitely.
Mhm.
But so is the cost of living. So, you know,
Talking about that, do you think like the cost of living in Canada is like similar to Australia or be different?
it depends what you're getting. Yeah, like as far as homes are concerned, they're very, very similar in
Mhm.
terms of price. We're all going through the same rental.
Yeah, and here is increasing as well.
It's increasing an incredible amount over there and over here. So it's I think it's reasonably gouging in
Mhm.
general. Yeah. Food is so much pricier, or was anyway, so much pricier when I'd moved here.
Yeah,
I was shocked at how much more it was
Wow.
to buy groceries.
but maybe it's kind of the same because here the rate is more, right? So
Yeah, so you get paid more,
yeah, you get paid more.
and food costs more.
I think minimum salary here is like what, 23 per hour, 23.5.
I'm not sure
something?
now. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
not sure
think
what
it
it is
is.
now. I know if you're like an apprentice, they can pay you nothing. So
Nothing, yeah.
that's the way to go. So Mark was going to hire you as an apprentice, just so he could save a little bit of money. You know what I mean?
No, I think I'm fine. No.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
apprentice.
You can stay on the shelves. You can
You
sit
can-
there. It'll be good.
Mark is our boss. That's
Mark
why
is
he
our
say,
boss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
He-
gonna invite him as well to do this interview.
Yeah, good. Yeah. He's not a bad boss. He is a great boss.
He's great.
He
Yeah,
is amazing.
he's from South America. Or
He's from
something.
they're from South America. So
Yeah.
they're three brothers basically.
You've been working for him like for
5 years now.
5 years.
Yeah. It's been probably the best job I've had here in Australia.
I like the environment. You know, they are always like friendly and yeah. I like
Yeah,
that.
they're friendly. They don't micromanage most of the time, and they let you make mistakes.
They let you, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I've made a few, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they'll point it out afterwards, but they'll let you make those mistakes
Yeah.
first, as long as it doesn't cost too much money.
Do you think like if you compare like Canada to Australia, like how is the people? You know, like you think they are kind of the same,
I found
friendly? You know?
yeah, look, the people are very, very similar. So they're quite friendly. They're always willing to help. In Australia, though, I find you have to get around the language
Yeah.
aspect to understand that somebody's actually trying to help you out. Like it's the little greetings and stuff as well. So it's like, hey, how you going? They don't want to know how you are. You know, they don't want to know.
They don't know.
Just,
Just
that's a hello. You
Yes,
know?
hello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the major difference is service. So because people back home, especially restaurants, so because people back home work for tips,
yeah.
they pay
Oh yeah,
them.
you always tip them. Yeah.
Yes, so they pay them very little,
Yeah. Okay.
and then they kind of survive on tips.
So they actually make more money with tips than the seller, right?
They can, but they can also make far less. So it's a bit of a, you know, but you get like amazing quality service at
Yeah.
restaurants.
And here it's a bit different. Yeah.
You don't get amazing quality
You
service
don't,
at
you don't.
restaurants. No, you don't. But they can live. You know, they can go home and they can pay most of their bills.
And no one tips as well, eh?
No
Here
one
is-
tips.
Yeah.
I am so okay with that.
Yeah, so okay.
I don't like tipping just on principle.
And back in Canada, like it's a must, right? You have to.
Yeah, so tipping it's a social norm, I guess.
Yeah.
So you can say no, but you're kind of taking money out of that person's pocket.
Mm.
Yeah. So if the food costs less, you want to give the person a bit of money.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about you, but I'd feel bad.
If bad, if
I feel bad not tipping in Canada.
okay.
Yeah, because I know they make nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No, I did that when I went to Thailand because, like,
It's a tipping culture.
yeah,
Yeah. And they make nothing in comparison. You know, cost of living is lower, but you know, if you tip them, it can make a big difference.
I was paying like what, $3, $4 to eat something.
Yes.
Good, you know, like
Yeah, that's it. And then
And
you
then
give them a $2 tip.
a few cents just to the guy to deliver it, and I was like, what?
He's like, what? Yeah. Yes. Well, you find out how much they make, like in a month, and you're like, I'm here on vacation. I can afford to give
Yeah.
them a few extra
Yeah,
dollars,
cool.
you know. If that helps you get food, yeah, absolutely. I don't see
Yeah.
it as a concern, but
So,
That's-
and when you came, you applied for the work holiday visa, right?
I did. Yeah.
At that time, did you have to like go to the farm and work it there as well?
If I wanted to stay for 2 years,
Yeah.
I would have had to do that. But my restriction was that I could only work in one place for 6 months, and then I can find another place to work for another 6 months. So that was the only thing kind of breaking things up for me.
Yeah.
I had an option of going to the farm and doing that kind of thing to have that extended. But because I was lucky enough that my wife was a permanent resident, so we had that year residency together where I could just apply for my PR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So your permanent residency anyway. Yeah.
So after your work holiday visa, you just apply for PR because you guys were married, right?
Effectively. So we weren't married at the time, but we were de facto married.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you live together for a year, it's considered
I have that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's it. So that made it easier, but you need a lot of paperwork to prove your
to
relationship.
prove everything,
Yeah.
photos and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had to apply when I was out of country, so I actually had to go home for a few months, work there, apply, and then come back,
I
which
see.
sucked. But
Which it is what it is. Eh?
and then they're like, "Oh, can you prove that you guys have continued a relationship? Here's our chat logs." You look close enough, you're gonna see some
You're gonna-
things, but still.
Nice. And Chris, what else I want to ask you? I actually have a few questions here.
Sure.
Let me grab that. This question here is from my followers on Instagram. And yeah, cost of living, you already said, right? So I'm not say it again. Moved to Australia, you already said why you moved to Australia. Oh, this one is, yeah. Do you think you can make more money here in Australia than Canada?
Oh, probably. Yeah, on
Probably.
average, I think you probably do. But there's also really comparable jobs.
Yeah.
So where I'm from, it's primarily oil and gas.
Oil and gas.
Yes. So if you want to make money, you go up north, you work oil and gas, and you work, your swing shifts. So you do like your two on, two off, or 3 on, 1 off, that kind of thing. So you fly in, fly out.
Yeah.
Just
Same
much
as
like
here,
here.
5 away.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. So that's much the same. And the availability of jobs in those fields is much the same as well, because they always need people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a situation where, because my province didn't diversify,
Mm-hmm.
so it means that our economy is largely based on oil and gas.
Okay.
So if if it drops,
Yeah.
then you see all the issues kind of come out in society, because now these people who are used to spending money don't have that money, and they, crime goes up.
Yeah. And how is that like to be a label of the people? They look at you and say, oh yeah, he's a laborer, he's making money or something like that, or they respect a labor.
Oh, a laborer.
Yeah.
Over here, it's far more acceptable.
Far more, okay.
Yeah. So to be like in trades at all, isn't seen as some negative thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that keeps the economy going in Australia. In Canada, it's a bit different socially. I think it's changing now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like just a standard laborer, they don't, it's not really looked on in the same light.
Cool.
Whereas here, they're just like, yeah, it's fine.
No, here's like you are like a hero, eh?
Yeah, you're a hero.
That guy.
Hey, look at him. He's building homes.
Yeah.
Or he's carrying bricks, Oh.
Yeah.
So being treated that way is quite nice. Yeah. You're not treated like you're down here.
Yeah.
You're treated equal as
yeah.
everyone else, which is nice.
That's what you want, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else we have here? Yeah, that one's good. In your opinion, what's the difference between Australia and Canada? What's the difference like?
Yeah, Australia is really far south. Canada is really far north. We're two opposite sides of the earth, which is kind of cool. That's the only difference. No. It's same but different.
Same but different.
Same but different. So you end up with extremes. So in Canada, you have extreme cold during winter.
Yep.
In Australia, you have extreme heat during summer. And again, the people are quite comparable. The food, I guess, is probably a big difference. So I do miss a lot of the food from Canada.
Yeah.
A lot of the food here seems to be inspired by England, so English food. Whereas the food in Canada,
just fish and chips.
It's just fish and chips. Variations on fish and chips. Parmigiana, chicken parma. Anyway, if Australians see this, they'll be fighting over that. Pierogies. I miss pierogies from Canada.
What is pierogies?
Pierogi is it's like a potato dumpling.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
So it's from
nice. Like I like dumpling. I like potatoes. So.
Potatoes. Oh, you get a bacon in it, and you fry it. You put cheese on it, eggs. Anyway, it's this whole thing. Yeah, it's everything. Cool. And poutine, of course. I miss poutine, which is chips, gravy, and cheese curds.
Oh, cool.
That's Canada's national dish.
Nice.
A heart attack. Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I think like Australia, they don't have like this. They don't have like much food, like much music or something like. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I would say. If you compare, like, for example, Brazil, you have a lot of
variety,
food as well.
Yeah.
Music, a lot of stuff that is from our country. And when I came to Australia, I felt like, there are a lot of different things, like a mix.
Yeah.
Mexican food, Japanese food, Indian food, a lot of stuff together. Still good, but yeah.
There's no national Australian.
There's no national,
food.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it's not really their own.
They have fish and chips, and they have like a few stuff, but
Yeah,
We
yeah.
do have fish and chips.
And of course there's there's a few things that are distinctly Australian. So you pavlova and things like that. But largely you're not going to say, oh yeah, I'm going to have some Australian.
Yeah.
No, like you're gonna have some fish and chips. You're gonna have,
I actually tried kangaroo.
What did you think?
Definitely not good.
What do you think? What do you think of the taste, though? Okay, so the taste
doesn't taste too good as well.
No, okay. So I thought it tasted okay.
It's okay,
but it looks horrible. Like the color of the meat is like a purpley kind of thing, and I can't get my head around it. I've had crocodile as well.
Crocodile. How was it?
Same thing. So it tasted fine, but just trying to wrap my head around what I was eating was not the best experience.
I actually felt like a little bit sad because I keep remember like, oh, I'm eating that guy. He's so friendly.
Well,
the kangaroo, like jumping, and I was like, that's not okay.
No, if it makes you feel better, they drown dogs in billabongs. So now you can feel better about eating kangaroo.
Now I'm okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let's see what else I have here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you already said that. Do you miss anything from Canada?
Food and family.
Family, yeah.
Yeah, food, family, mountains.
Mountains.
Nice. Yeah, mountains, because the hometown's like half hour, 45 minutes from the mountains. So you can just go up there. I guess I don't ski, but you can ski, you can skate, you can snowboard, you can do all that kind of stuff.
You travel around Canada, right?
Mostly Western Canada.
Western.
Through most of my life, it was primarily Saskatchewan, Alberta, and British Columbia, which are the three provinces that I've traveled most through. I've probably seen more of the U.S. than I have of Canada. A lot of what we have is near the border.
Yeah.
So for obvious reasons, it's the biggest trade route, and it's warmer. But most of what I wanted to see was in Western Canada, because we had it's an abundance of things that you can do.
Yeah.
Over here, it's kind of the same. Like everything's kind of around the coast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And and everything's very far apart.
There's nothing in the middle, just
there's nothing in between.
Yeah.
Like even if you're going up to, I guess you did the Exmouth trip, right?
Yeah, I did that.
Yes, there are very few things to see in between.
Very few things, yeah.
There's Monkey Maya, which is
Monkey Maya,
Monkey Maya is beautiful. Turquoise Bay, was it?
Turquoise Bay, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's stuff to see, but it's very far apart.
Very far, yeah.
Same as Canada. In that sense.
I felt that like when I came from Sydney as well, and here everything's too far, Back in Sydney, like it's close. Here you have to drive like at least 30 minutes to go.
Yes.
Like whatever you want.
Because Perth is very much north to south. That's just a strip for the most part.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, the only shop I have is up in Joondalup that sells this thing I need.
When you came to Australia, you just came straight away to Perth, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We didn't do very much traveling in between, like at all. We just kind of came to Perth, and
you love it.
I do. I do. Moving here though it was odd. It was like going back to the 90s.
Yeah.
Because shops were closed at 5.
Oh yeah.
Like
I felt the same. Like wow.
Yeah.
Everything is closed.
Everything is closed, and then even like you had to go to. There were 2 places to go on the weekend. Pretty much 2 places only that you could go to, and it was the city and Fremantle.
Fremantle.
You had those 2 options, and that was that. Everything closes early still, but not as much.
I reckon now it's getting better. Eh?
It's gotten so much
better. At that time
better.
Was like,
it's like 1996.
Nowhere to go. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was crazy. Even the TV here was like I was watching Simpsons episodes from years ago, and they're like new on Fox. So like, oh mate, it's pretty behind. That's caught up. It's all caught up. So, mostly anyway.
Did you feel like difficult to make friends here? How was it for you? Like, you have friends?
Yeah, I mean, I have friends. It's much the same. A lot of like the Australian culture is very similar in how you kind of interact with each other.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is like insulting each other in horrible ways, but in like friendly ways as well. And that's how they bond, I guess. It's much the same in Canada. You know,
Much,
like
okay.
if you like somebody, you're probably going to make fun of them quite a bit. And if they like you, they're probably going to make fun of you quite a bit.
The thing they are like, they accept more people. Like, oh, that's okay if you're from another country.
Oh, that's an odd one for me to say, because from my perspective, I had it in an easy mode.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
but like as a result, I also hear or have heard some pretty nasty things as
Yeah.
well. But they're casual about
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and you know, back home they weren't so open.
They were not open.
Well, they weren't so open about their I don't want to say it.
But do you think right now they are like, they are okay or still?
I think it's gotten much better
Okay.
since I got here.
Because I saw a few videos, they have like a lot of immigrants right there as well, eh?
Yeah, there's a lot of immigrants going into Canada as well. And at the moment, I think there's record numbers coming into both countries.
Yeah.
So you're always going to get that segment of the population that's like, oh, fuck off, we're full, you know? But I don't know how you're going to deal with that in Western society, because we have this massive aging population in the background, and somebody's going to need to pay for them when they're old.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, Australians don't reproduce like rabbits, so immigration's like literally the only way. That the pension system's not gonna absolutely collapse.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, anyway. Yeah.
And we saw when the country was closed, right? Like when they closed the borders.
Yep.
Everything here was like, you know, no people, no staff to work, nothing. There was something. Eh? I was here
during COVID.
Yeah, during COVID.
Yeah. I don't know what it was like in Sydney. Like WA, we were kind of because we had like a hard border, more or less. So barely anybody was getting through our border at the time. So we were lucky enough in some ways to live normal lives. Like we could, like there was only a couple of lockdowns. There's that initial lockdown that we had where everyone went nuts, and then this minor one kind of later on in the year, and everything else was normal. You know, like we got so lucky. Like you could.
But the business didn't close, anything like that.
Some businesses closed.
Staff.
Some businesses closed. So like a lot of the CBD.
Yeah,
kind of people weren't going to the city very much. And I guess like Perth isn't necessarily built around like fruit picking, you know.
Yeah.
But I would assume that a lot of those would have had problems getting people, because they do rely on people coming in and doing their working holiday and doing their 6 months, kind of just to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because our boss Mark, he said like at that time was really hard to him to find people to hire.
Oh, in that sense. Yeah. Well, because at the time as well, I think there was what was the name of it? It was a government program.
Yeah.
Where they were paying you job seeker, I think it was. Yeah.
Job what?
I think it was job seekers.
What was that?
It's a government program that gives you money.
Oh, and then you don't have to work. Yeah.
And you're looking for work. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think the assumption is that was a big part of it.
Because I think they did different from like every state did something different, right?
Yeah.
And that, cool.
Yeah, for the most, my understanding is yeah. So, or people we did get didn't quite live up to what they needed to do, which is probably my personality causing that. But you know that. Yeah.
Hey, you feel happy now that you live in Australia, or you still like you would come back to Canada?
No, this is our home. Yeah,
this
is our home. So I think I've spent just over half my life here.
Yeah.
I love
and
the
you're
weather.
totally comfortable.
I'm comfortable. I really, really like it. The healthcare is great, which was a biggie. So the schooling is pretty solid, I found. Kids really like it. Teachers are good, you know.
And your kids, they are actually Australians, 100%.
They're Australian now,
they're still from,
Well, they're from Canada, but born here.
So they have these slangs and everything from Australia?
Yes, they do. Yeah, yeah. They have little Aussie accents. And it doesn't bug me. It's nice. it's cute having a little Australian in your house.
Yeah, cool.
Um,
Let's see what else I got here.
however, you try and correct them.
You're trying to correct them.
If you try and correct them, it's like no R.
It's not.
It's like I'm like, oh right, yep, Australian. Sorry.
But you still say like sister, not sister, right? Brother, not brother. About you.
Those all sound the exact. What do you mean? Sorry.
Because here like that's my sister, right?
Oh, sister.
Yeah,
Sister.
and you say sister.
Yeah,
right?
harder.
You still say sister.
I have to. Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Not sister.
Well, R's are R's. R's aren't A's. I just can't do it.
It's much easier for me to understand you, for example, than Jason,
Oh,
the guy who worked with us.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's Australian, and
Yeah.
you're from Canada, and I don't know. Back in Brazil, I was studying English, and everything is like from United States, right?
Yeah.
And when you move to Australia, I was like, what? What is it saying? Like, cái này mày hát ngay, and what?
G'day, mate. How are you?
Yeah.
Hey, man. How are you?
What is the? Hey, how are you?
Hello, sir. How are you today? We enunciate quite a bit, but you get used to it. You have to get used to it.
You have to. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. You just have to, and it's totally it's fine. It's fun too, actually.
It's fun. Yeah.
I never used to like saying like I reckon, but or mate. Like it just felt wrong.
I like that one. Reckon. I reckon that's good.
I reckon it's a good idea, but it took a while. It took a while to kind of get that in there, but it just made it so much easier talking to people because now they understand me. But
I think that's why it was easier for you, right? Because like English is your first language as well.
My first language.
You didn't have to like learn English from
not,
zero.
Not at all. It was just like dealing with how they shorten words, trying to understand how they like their slang in particular. But then other than that, yeah, it was pretty easy.
It's okay,
yeah.
Because that's still a thing. Like I always say to people here, like you have to, try to open your mind, stay close to people that speak English, because you need to learn. That's it. You can live here without English, right?
No, you can't. I don't think so. Unless you have a big family support structure and that speak your language, I don't think it's...
But I don't think that's the correct way as well, because if you are in a country that speaks, like English, you must too. Speak English as well.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. Like if I were to spend a year in Brazil, I wouldn't expect everybody to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, well, I have to learn Portuguese now.
Portuguese, yeah.
And I'll butcher it, but I have to learn it.
Well, you are learning. I'm teaching you a few words. Yeah.
Only the bad ones. Yeah.
That's all you need. No, that's
all. Just the bad words. You start with the bad words and you work your way up to the good words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for being here. It was really nice, this interview. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
And I would like to ask you a few questions. Like, I always ask people here, like, you had no idea about Australia. Like, when you came here and you found out, like, oh, I didn't know that this is like that.
Funny enough, it's all based on Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So most of my experience with Australia was the episode of The Simpsons where they come to Australia and Crocodile Dundee. So when I came here and I felt people sounded British, to my ear, it was like, oh, what is that?
What is that?
I was expecting the Mick, from the outback for everybody, but you hardly ever hear that hard kind of Australian accent. That was one of the things because I had that expectation.
Yeah.
I also expected like terrifying creatures at every turn.
Yeah, me too.
Like, there's gonna be snakes everywhere.
Snakes everywhere, spiders,
sharks and giant spiders, but
kangaroos,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but you hardly see these things.
You hardly see,
like aside from spiders,
Yeah.
But I've come to.
But it's not that dangerous. I don't think this is dangerous. Like people always say to me, "Oh, Australia is dangerous." No, there are a lot of different animals and everything, but
Yeah, I always compare it to. Like in Canada, you have really, really big things that'll kill you. In Australia, you have really small things that can kill you. So in both circumstances, you end up with the exact same outcome. But
you've seen a bear?
yeah, I've seen bears back home.
Wow.
Bears and cubs and stuff.
Did you fight if no, right?
Yeah. You, as a Canadian,
you must.
You have to take out at least one bear before you're considered a man. So
no way, really?
Yeah, no. That bear's gonna win. We'd have no men
for sure. Yeah. Cool, nice. So guys, if you like this, please subscribe here. Give us one thumbs up as well. Follow me on Instagram. And thanks, Chris. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.